Hello everybody, this is Sarek1983 and welcome back to Neverwinter Nights. Alright, so from last episode I did, finish clearing out that one little boar that I saw, and I actually ran into a couple of dire wolves and a warg as well. I was doing that, so I killed them as well. I went to get the gem that I'd forgotten to bring with me when I was in the ogre cave, so I got that. And also I found a chest that I'd missed. It's on the north side of Leah and Gerald's house, so I looted that as well. And then I came back to Port Llast and I thought, you know what, why waste any time? So I decided to sell off all my excess equipment off screen. As you can see, I've got a hell of a lot more gold. I think a couple of the armors sold for almost 10,000 gold each, so yeah, we got lots of gold now and we'll be getting a lot more to come. Anyways, and that ring I mentioned that I thought I knew what it was, and it turned out to be what I was thinking what it was. It is the Ring of Invisibility. It's unlimited use, but you can only use the invisibility spell 3 times per day. But yeah, it is unlimited use, so I pretty much have no more use for invisibility potions, so I'll just put them here. I guess I'll just use them when the time arises when I may need them. And anything else? No, I guess not. Alright, so we gotta go back to the barracks. We've gotta turn in any information we found out about the cult to Aribeth, and then we've also got all of our henchmen and all of our friends' tales to get caught up on. So let's go back to the barracks and do that. Alright, let's talk to Aribeth first.
It is good to see you again. At times I worry that you have taken on too much responsibility yourself. Yet always you surprise me with your resourcefulness and success. Have you yet discovered any new information on the cult?
I have located some information about the cult.
This is good news. What have you discovered?
Show her the letter to Vardock.
So, the cult sought to strike at you again. And this time they have given themselves away in the process. Well done. This information suggests that this Mogrim and his cult are to be found within Luskan. I do wonder, however, if this is not some attempt on their part to deceive us. Perhaps they meant for you to find this? I would like you to continue your investigation, just in case. I need a second piece of information that supports the first to be absolutely certain it is the truth. We can afford no mistake.
I shall continue the search.
Then I wish you luck.
Alrighty. Alright, let's get started on these tales. First, let's just talk to Sharwyn first.
Yes? Is there something you need?
I just want to talk. I'd like you to continue your story from before. Very well, Kel. I had already told you we'd met the Lady Onaris, correct? That she'd fawned all over Daelan, but he'd assured me there was nothing to fear. Well, we were bound by contract now to perform, so we did. We did so well, too. It was not long before we were the toast of Ethkatla, praised by the Lord and Lady Onaris at every turn. Nobles showered us with attention and gifts at every turn. Everyone wanted us to perform for them next. I was a bit dazzled by it all, but also concerned. Lady Onaris continued to lavish attention on Daelan. She called him to private performances, without me, and he was spellbound, despite my efforts to distract him. Were they having an affair? I prayed that it was not so. I suspected, but it could prove nothing. The servants were too good at misdirecting me, subtly keeping me away from interrupting their privacy. Desperate and angry, I accused Daelan of succumbing to her lust. He denied it angrily, and I believed him. Almost. What did you do? After one of our largest concerts, I followed Daelan as he left the stage. I used what magic I knew to disguise myself, avoiding the servants and keeping pace with them. I felt terribly guilty for the deception, hoping against hope that my suspicions were for naught. Of course, I was disappointed. I watched invisibly as Daelan made his rendezvous with Lady Onaris, laying fevered kisses upon her and saying how every minute they were apart was excruciating to him. You should have left. You are right. If I had any sense, I would have left. I was young and in love, however, and that leaves no room for sense. In my shock, I must have dropped my spell, for the Lady Onaris spotted me. She did not care. She only laughed lightly and pointed me out to Daelan. He merely looked at me and smiled. I merely stood there dumbfounded as Daelan called me a foolish little girl, pathetic even. Not only did he prefer Lady Onaris, but he had never loved me. I fled, their mocking laughter ringing in my ears. I fled them, I fled Ethkatla, and I have never been back. That's horrible, Sharwyn. Yes, I was devastated. I had left the security of my family to make Daelan my world, and it had crumbled around me. As I said, however, things were not as they seemed. I found out much later that Lady Onaris' beauty was the result of an enchantment, a glamour. She had spellbound Daelan in the literal sense. I have also discovered that a lock of Nymph's hair will break her spell. Daelan will be released, and her glamour will end. She will revert to her natural appearance, old and fat, so I hear. Are you sure Daelan is still with her? Yes, so the story goes, at any rate. He has been a famous bard in Athkatla for years, and she is still his patron. A fairy tale that will end one day. Everyone should be allowed their little illusions, perhaps. I admit that it would give me some small satisfaction to remove her spell once and for all. All it will take is finding that nymph's hair. One day, perhaps, I shall discover some. We'll find you some nymph's hair, Sharwyn. I believe you, Kel. It doesn't matter. We have more important things to do here. Alrighty, so we're looking for a lock of nymph's hair. Alright, let's get Linu's next.
I hope that you would return so...
Yes. I want you to level up.
Hey there, dear.
Level up. And she's got new digs as well. Right.
Hey there, dear. What can I do for you?
Just want to talk. Tell me more of your story. You have been a true friend to me, Kel. I have been reluctant to speak to you of this, but you did help me recover the chalice. Perhaps you can help me with this as well. Synth retired from his adventuring life for a couple of years. Then one day he came home with news that he had discovered the location of an ancient city. I knew as soon as he uttered those words that he would be off on another of his grand adventures. I wanted to go with him, but I was involved in preparing a special celebration for the temple. He wouldn't wait for you? I think he had waited for a time when I was wrapped up in something I couldn't get out of. It was his way of protecting me. Synth had a friend who was a mage create a pair of journals. We could write to each other and be in contact every day. I don't know why, but he never wrote to me about his day or his quest. Instead, he would write about his thoughts and philosophies on life and the mysteries. I wish he had written more about where he went. Why is that? The last entry he wrote, he spent several pages telling me how much he loved me, and that no matter what happened to him, I must go on. I knew something was wrong, and I begged him to tell me, but he ignored my pleas. The last thing he wrote was that he could hear them coming again. That was it. Kel, someday I shall find the cave Synth was exploring, and I will try to find that journal. I think that if I could do that, I would be able to get past his ghost that haunts my dreams. We will find the cultist, Kel, and justice shall be done. Then perhaps I can resume my quest. I am certain that the journal must exist somewhere, and someday I shall find it. Don't worry, we'll find the journal and discover what happened to your husband. Sweet Kel, I know that with you by my side, anything is possible. Aw, isn't that sweet? Alright, let's finish off Aaron's tale.
A little bird has informed me that someone has actually won Mutaman's little contest. Such a person must be mighty and clever indeed, don't you agree?
I would rather talk about something else.
Aye. What would you have of me?
You had mentioned someone named Callie.
I did. That I mentioned her at all was by accident, my friend. I have been determined to avoid those memories for many years now.
Why? What happened?
I suppose one cannot leave the story unfinished. As you wish then, my friend. Callie is short for Kaliara. She was of elven blood, a woman of extraordinary beauty and adventuresome spirit. She ran the Guild of Thieves in Neverwinter, you see, when I first began my sentence. She was also the first task Lord Nasher set me to. I was to see to her capture, and to reduce the power of the Guild in the city. And I was eager enough to do so, though I did not know what I was up against.
So did you capture her?
Not at first. She and I became the most dire of foes. Kaliara stirred the Guild against me, and assassins stalked my every step. The thieves had been used to holding power in the city, and did not care to be dislodged. I used every trick I knew to no avail. Finally, I chose to disguise myself and infiltrate her guild, determined to look upon my foe and end her life personally. It took me a great deal of time to do so. Kaliara trusted few, and I had to work my way up in the ranks over time until I was able to enter her inner circle.
So you captured her then?
No, not at all. I killed her.
You killed her?
I should have done it sooner, when I was first trusted enough to be alone in her presence. But I was too intrigued and foolish. She enthralled me. I found her soul so similar to my own, and we drew together immediately. Despite my misgivings, I gave in and allowed myself to love her. I knew it would not last. I discovered her plan to kill Lord Nashor, and knew that the time had come to tell her who I was. It was my hope to dissuade her from her life.
How did she react?
She was not angry, as I thought she would be. Merely disappointed, perhaps, as she drew her sword. To strike her down was almost unthinkable. As we parried, I begged her to reconsider, to leave her life, to stay with me, and I would protect her from Lord Nashor's wrath. I will not change for you, Aarin, even as you would not change for me. Let it end here. Though tears blurred my eyes, upon those words I ran her through. She died moments later, as we exchanged one final kiss.
That is very sad. I'm sorry.
Thank you. I have never told another that tale. There are few that I would call friend. I would be pleased to name you amongst them. Perhaps in time I might come to hear your tale. For now, however, there is much to do.
Alright, I'll be going.
I shall await your return then. Be safe and Godspeed.
And if you were female, he would have given you a ring if he liked you. If he didn't, well, you wouldn't get anything. But yeah, you would have gotten Aaron's ring with that. And there you go. You'd have his friendship as well. Anyway, so that's all the time I have for this episode. So the next episode, well, we'll have to go to each of our the rest of our henchmen and get them to level up, hear their tales. And then I guess we'll have to go out and collect a couple of more side quests and continue on with the search for the cult. This is Cyric 1983 signing off. Thank you for watching and have a good one.